Hi and welcome. My name is Wendy. I am a Reiki Master Teacher, and in this video I want to tell you a bit more about myself, how I came to Reiki, and also share my way of practicing and teaching Reiki with you. I have been working full-time as a Reiki Master Teacher for a couple of years now. I actually had my very first client on the 22nd of February in 2022. Was that a coincidence or a sign? I don't know. To me, it felt like a huge sign. Since then, I have been able to work with hundreds of people, and I was first starting with one-on-one treatments. So I was working as a Reiki practitioner, and that allowed me to gain a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience about how Reiki works. And then I used all of that and put it into my Reiki courses. So now I am teaching Reiki just because I realized that it is so much more transformative when you can actually learn Reiki yourself. Like when people came for a treatment, it was amazing. They felt wonderful afterwards. But it's like when you're doing sports or trying to change your eating habits. Like doing something once doesn't create the long-lasting results that you're actually looking for. And so that really motivated me to become a full-time Reiki Master Teacher. What brought me to Reiki? I have to go a bit back to tell you also about my childhood, and maybe you can connect to some of the things that I am going to share with you. So ever since I was a child, I have been very sensitive, not to say maybe overly sensitive, highly sensitive. And I always felt like that was a burden. I never knew how to handle those things. Like I was always feeling so much. I was sensing things that were not visible or tangible for other people. And Reiki was this last missing puzzle piece that helped me realize that, first of all, the things that I'm sensing are actually there, like it's not just in my head. And second of all, that this high sensitivity is a huge gift. And I learned how to use my sensitivity as a gift instead of suffering from it or trying to fight it. I have been growing up with a severely depressed mom. And so at a very young age, I witnessed what it can do to a person when they are not in touch with their emotions and when everything is just going out of control and they are in a downward spiral. And that led me to be interested in all those processes at a very young age. So I started reading books that I was probably way too young to read. And I had my first journal at the age of 6. I started doing yoga and meditation at the age of 13, back in the early years of 2000, where it was definitely not cool, at least not where I lived. So yeah, I learned at a very young age about belief systems, about trauma, all those things. And then through a couple of incidents and meeting strangers and reading books and having some experiences, all of that finally led me to Reiki. And I still remember the day I first heard about Reiki. It truly felt like coming home. Like I was reading about it and I was just like, that makes so much sense. And it really felt like I finally found the last missing piece for my own puzzle. And so then everything clicked into place and everything just made sense. So since then, I have done a lot of studies. I actually studied educational sciences, so I have an academic background. I am also a trained counselor and therapist using different approaches of coaching. And all of that is also flowing into my courses. So my approach to Reiki it has different components to it. First of all, of course, I teach the traditional Uzui Reiki Ryoho Reiki. So I teach Japanese techniques, I teach about the Japanese terms, where they come from, what they mean, but I also include a lot of personal development stuff. So especially starting from Reiki level 2, where we talk about inner child work, rewiring belief systems, using Reiki for visioning and manifestation and all of that. So it's really a mix of traditional Reiki, modern spirituality, and personal development. If this has resonated with you so far, chances are very high that we are a good match. And on my channel, you will find different videos about topic revolving around energy work in general, but then of course also Reiki related. I will also share with you guided meditations, guided Reiki sessions, and distance Reiki. And if there are any specific topics that you are interested in or that you would love to have a guided session for, please let me know in the comments. I am very excited to read from you all, and I send you all my love and light. See you soon.